Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like it's a good. It feels good to have this functionality that we've had in the game for a long time that all of us are fine with, right? Like I know it's against Blizzard's philosophy. It's a good and bad feeling because it's like every time there's some thing that we thought was gone that's back, and we're like, oh, good, that's back. It's like, well, it's like kind of an annoyingly worse thing than it used to be, and then also it's just like an increasingly bad look for Blizzard, right? Because it's like, okay, the whole philosophy thing is like out the window. If you try to apply the like we don't want you to have the any information by having add-ons that you don't have by not having add-ons, that's becoming less and less true every day,
Yeah.
right?
Like the ways that it's shittier than it used to be don't mean it's still not an advantage to have it, right? Like it's still better than not having a kick tracker, right? Like a 95% effective kick tracker is better than a 0%
Yeah.
effective one, but it feels worse to play with. And it's a higher bar to like actually install it now, right? It's like more and understanding why it's not always accurate is also something that like
It's a lot like the private aura
Yeah.
situation. Like I said, because like the private aura situation. Okay, well now you have to hit a macro, and then you have to make sure that everyone has the correct version and the correct macro, and they're actually pressing it, and you have to also troubleshoot it, and all that just to do the thing that it was doing before.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
There's no other way around it. It's pretty. I mean, oh man, it's just it's. I feel like Private Wars isn't even because Private Wars was like annoying and like really. I think when you're thinking of Private Wars, you're thinking of like those few fights, you know, that were just Fyrak P1 intermission, right? Pressing a macro anytime you had to do something like that. But this is like becoming so much worse. Like I actually wonder. I think we said a couple months ago, you're gonna be able to do all this stuff, but you can't do this. I actually wonder what is still going to be in the game that you absolutely cannot do. Because if someone told me, like, for example, if you started this podcast and you said people found a way to track buffs, people found a way to track in reps. If you said like literally anything else, oh, you can make weak auras for boss mechanics again. You can do this. I would have been like, I could believe it. You know, I could believe anything could work that they said wasn't going to work because clearly the execution of this, well, it's the execution of it, and also they are like one by one kind of rolling back some rules, right? Which is like little by little allowing some of this extra stuff to happen. Which again, is that a good thing? It's a good thing.
I mean,
right?
they got a little more nuclear on like it just feels really. I don't know. Personally, I would have liked if they just gone full nuclear and then we just have like a couple of simple add-ons to work with. But obviously, the community was not happy about it, so Blizzard kind of gave in a little bit.
Yeah, I think they chickened out from like going full nuclear on it for understandable reasons, but that's left us in a place that was much worse than doing nothing. And the question is whether there is intent on their end to like over the next few patches actually do more. But the problem is like it's really hard to imagine clawing back functionality in like little steps mid expansion because that's just going to break a bunch of add-ons. Like if you imagine every single mid expansion patch, all your add-ons are broken, you have to redo your UI again. Like I think people had limited appetite for doing that once. They have no interest in doing it every single patch. So I feel like they've really backed themselves into an unfortunate corner here with like not either sticking to their guns or delaying the whole process until they had like a really solid understanding of basically like everything is either something that base UI can do and add-ons can do, or is something that neither can do, and like we really make sure that there's not workarounds for it. But of course, it's like impossible to patch all these workarounds. Yeah,
I think this is going to be one of the most interesting seasons because like right now this stuff is being cooked, but like there's going to be so much more cooking when this stuff is actually relevant. Like you're going to get into a season, you're going to be doing high keys, and this specific mechanic is going to be like just absolutely insane, and someone's going to come up with some tech or some add-on solution for it. Because like you've just gotten used to solving problems this way. If you're at the very high level, you've done the right thing, which is you've been approached this problem that's really hard to solve. What's the most efficient, foolproof, and the least amount of mistakes we will have by solving the problem? How do we do it? And that has always been make some cybernetic enhancements for it, right? And so people are going to do that. It's just gonna be really interesting to see what people come up with, how absolutely janky it is. And what this season looks like. I feel like this might just be like one of those seasons you remember because it's just like just so odd.
Yeah, the cybernetic enhancement arms race. I think in the race world first is going to be interesting, but actually I do think in the M plus season is going to be really interesting. Like how much people will come up with and use workarounds for all these things that Blizzard doesn't want us to be cybernetically enhanced for, but over the course of the season, more and more get solved that way. I don't know. I was initially pretty optimistic about the add-on thing, but I feel like it's I would now put myself in the pessimistic column for, and I probably would for the past month or so have been.
Yeah, becoming
there.
more pessimistic by the day.
It's a noble goal.
Yeah.
We just
That's true, and
we're not able to execute it properly.
failing at a noble goal is at least something. But
I mean,
still failing.
But some people are gonna like the goal. But if you were someone who like didn't even raid that much, I really feel like the main thing that was getting nuked by this was like the figuring out raid fights for you, and that's just been something they've hated for a long time. And if you weren't even someone that was like interacting with that, you just got to hate this on an entirely different level, because like I think the base premise of it was just, it's not even going to affect you positively, so it's kind of only been bad. And I think for people,
I feel like...
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, you can go.
No, you go.
Okay, I was just say it's a bigger problem. I feel, I've always had this feeling in the back of my mind where I just think that Blizzard needs to stop caring so much about heavily balancing the game. Now I know like everyone's gonna hear this and be like, what the fuck? Like, why would you say that? Because like it feels like to me Blizzard cares too much about having, what's a good way to put it? Like they care about the...
People were roasting Dorky about this comment because they were like,
I mean, it's a lot of it.
Like, oh, Dorky's complaining about Blizzard wanting to balance the game too much, and then he roast him in the same podcast for saying like, when's the next tuning patch?
40 specs, there's raid buffs, and whatever reason, right?
I actually
like,
don't think that's why they wouldn't do 10-man. Just off the top of my head, I think it's because they
have
wouldn't
they
want
not
to split.
said that before in one of the
I don't
interviews?
think so. I think they don't want to split too many people in too many different areas. That would also, I think, in a large way, would like take away from like currently their solution to that problem is flex rating, and then that would like kind of kill flex rating if people were like doing 10-man. I think it's, you don't want to like push your characters, people that are interested in PvE, into too many different lanes, because then it dilutes all of them. Would be the argument from them. At least from when I've spoken to them about it.
Basically, the way I feel is Blizzard just cares about this certain experience that players have, and it causes them to not branch out and try to do more things than they're able to.
I feel like 10-man is like, Blizzard has experimented a great deal with 10-man in WoW, going back to when they didn't have it when the game launched. They added it.
That is way too long.
They added it in TBC.
It feels like a different WoW.
Then they iterated on how it interacted with the other raid sizes in Wrath. Then they iterated again in Kata. Then they did it again in Mop, right? And then it's like it turned into flex rating, and that's where it's been since. But it's I don't know, like that has been something where Blizzard has done a whole lot of experimentation over the course of the last since the game came out.
I mean, personally, I can't see anything from before Legion to be relevant at all, because like honestly it's a completely different game, right? Like we're literally playing WoW 4 at this point, and whatever they've done in the past is just like a completely different experiment. Because like if you consider the time, right, like people always say, oh, they've tried 10-man in the past, it doesn't work. Well, I mean, like, why didn't it work? A large part of it is because there were just better gear in 25-man, right? And because of the coexistence of 25 and 10, there's no reason to do the 10.
Well, they had it with the same quality gear in some of those, iterations of it. It was the same gear. It was like you got less of it, but you had less people.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really speak too much on the 10 and 25 man. I just figured like it was probably for different reasons than outside of it just strictly being a 10 man.
Yeah, I don't think they have actually like explicitly confirmed recently why they are not doing it, but I feel like that is an area that WoW has experimented a lot in. It's just, I guess, yeah, you could make the argument it was so long ago that doesn't count anymore.
In other WoW news, there has been no balance patch this week, which is very concerning. Because people have been saying we're currently at release candidate, and they generally don't push out changes, but they have been at least bug fixing a lot. Like I've noticed a lot of classes got some random bug fixes. Enhanced Shaman Totemic is no longer randomly pulling pack. Face Palm got fixed. It's actually doing damage now on Brewmaster, so Brewmaster is even more OP now. Guardian Druid has improved a bit. They fixed the whole balance, but it's still very concerning that there is no tuning.
Yeah, I've been starting to like look into what's good because I kind of have just been ignoring it for a long time of like what specs are looking good because I was just kind of under the assumption that everything was going to change by a lot. But just from the first chunks of research I've been doing, there are some specs that are doing like half as much damage as they should be to be playable, and there are some specs that are doing like 50% more as well, like than the baseline level. At least again, it's early sims and stuff and early builds, so there might be more to discover, but it does seem like there is a large amount of a balance that needs to happen in a short amount of time. There's a heroic week, I guess, this time. Like there's the 2 lead-up weeks, and then there's a heroic week. So they have
not to mention, I think patches are when you go through an entire expansion, you're used to like how tuned things need to be going into a patch, which is like really well because from like the patch release, there's nothing to do, and they usually don't do any changes until like the actual season's out. But expansion release is pretty common for them to have large lists of like class, because like think about it, in the first 2 weeks when everyone else is like questing and playing the game in early access, like what do you think class designers are doing? Like they're not like AFK, right? Like their focus is on making sure the upcoming like season is.
I think I have the wrong gear. I think I'm supposed to use Zen Yi on May.
Right, that's when that stuff kind of tapers off. There's gonna be almost like after the early access comes out, there's like almost 3 weeks, including a heroic week, where I think you will see a lot of changes. I don't know right now. Like it's definitely not.
Well, it's not Zen Yi, but it's
but I don't remember
basically
like,
it's not her standard set.
Where that's supposed to be at this point, because I'm just used to like a patch cadence. Where if this was like a patch and like the patch was coming out in 2 weeks, like that would.
Huh?
But I think it's expansion.
Right now,
That also
necessarily
makes a huge difference too. Okay.
Like so, in Zorthis' video here, for example, he showed that like Fire Mage is very ignoring Pyro.
Wait.
And ignoring arcane missiles.
I think
or where you don't
the current one I'm looking at, these are S1 and
Yeah.
SS2, right?
It's missing a patch note.
I think I have to look for the ones that are like
X amount more damage, where they just are now used rotationally again.
Right.
Yeah, this is that screenshot.
So it is just Benares
Like,
TM
he's
says on
actually really
B.
following beta, giving some really well-informed takes on what's going on with the classes and specs in beta. That is definitely the place to go. But yeah, this set of things, I don't know, it's not a huge set, but it does. It's weird because I never remember how it was before previous expansions. I know we've like had previous expansions where there's been some dooming and it's kind of always been fine. But this one does seem like
that's where
Where am I gonna get my bleed from though?
It's like extremely important for me to like
Oh.
know what is going on with
Never
that,
mind.
like what is the meta going to be.
Let me play
one thing that's
Turk
always been
just
true is
just
you can
for
say this, that,
safety.
like once the season comes out, it's gonna be like pretty normal, right? There's gonna be like a spec or two that's pretty sick.
Game is really laggy.
A bunch of stuff's gonna be good. Some stuff
I might have to
bad,
restart the
some
game
stuff
here in a
is
second.
Really bad. That it's just going to like I guess one thing you could say is just like, would you bet money on this season coming out and it feeling like most seasons? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah,
So yeah, it'll probably work out.
it's funny when we've been like setting up raid comps. One of the things that I keep doing is like I just keep assuming that they're going to make Devourer Demon Hunter like OP. Just,
Oh
like,
my
you
god,
expect
it's so
it to
much
be OP,
damage.
right? Like that.
Yeah, that's not fake news.
Yeah.
That has just happened a
Like
lot.
that prior belief is stronger than like any news I'm getting out of beta, any Sims, anything like that right now is like, yeah, Devourer is probably gonna be OP. We want to have a plan ready to play 4 of them if we need to.
That class is a pain to play. I don't know if you've seen how that class plays at all, but
Yeah, I know it got a lot better after
it
they did
looks
the
very unfun to do in raid.
after they did the change a couple weeks ago. It got a lot better, right? Where you're like, it's not quite as consume spammy, but
Oh yeah, but it's still awful.
yeah.
It's not bad, but it's still awful. Yeah, so I think the bigger problem for a lot of players is they want to settle on a class at least on early access, and we only have 2 weeks for that, so
Woo!
we don't know what exactly are going to be good or bad. So I mean, like by the time, like, so a lot of players can't afford to just like wait until heroic week happens, which is why
Good enough.
like, where's the tier list? What class is the best right now? And
My damage is so much better now.
satisfy them if you tell them that none of this shit really matters because there's probably be a ton of tuning over the next 4 or 5 weeks. Because that's not what they want to hear. They just want to hear what I should be trying to play at the time.
Yeah. Well, if you want any help with that, I will most likely have a tier list video done this weekend. Let's go.
Let's go.
Pick things based on a letter.
Yeah, there's I love this part of the season. The tier list discourse as well always gets really good. Okay. Let's see. Do you guys want to talk about the... Actually, I just want to briefly complain. I don't know if you guys have been playing WoW much recently, but you know that thing where you like hit a stair or a pebble wrong and you DC?
Yeah.
That feels like it's like 10 times worse than it was before 12.0. I don't know. It's like really annoying. Like I'm DCing all the time on anytime I'm dragon riding or like driving the Undermine car. I don't know, dude. Some number somewhere has changed and has made it way more likely for that to happen. They gotta fix it. It's so brutal, especially if you've like changed any of your UI, so then you haven't saved it, and so then if you like DC like that, it doesn't save, and yeah, I don't know, minor gripes, but really obnoxious. Speaking of things that are minor gripes but really obnoxious, I know a lot of people. There was this post that came out that was like, upgrading gear is now going to cost gold in addition to crests. Valor stones obviously are gone, but there's now a little gold cost there. It's like a very small gold cost, so objectively, like it's not important. If you were upgrading your gear, you're gonna lose like 2,000 gold a season or something upgrading all your gear. Some pretty small number compared to like one crafted piece costing you 20 or 30k. But it is still one of those things where it's like, I don't know. I feel like people are always just going to be mad when they do things like this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's because consumables are so expensive.
Yo, dude, consumables are so important as well. I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago as well, right? Where it's like, but a potion now, when you press a potion, it like doubles your damage while it's active. It's
insane.
Wild.
That's like pretty, like at the early expansion, it's always like trends closer to just being really, really powerful. But yeah, I honestly don't know how I feel about that. I think if anything, that would be like hard for Blizzard to tune and figure out, because like we kind of saw it with anything damage amp related, right? Whenever you can actually like stack classes that do well on the damage amp and like really know what you're doing with that, I think phases are like shorter than they think. And I don't know. I think that could be like when you combine potions with that. Has there ever been a time in this game where a potion has doubled your damage, just in general?
I remember.
I don't think that's
the strongest it's ever been.
Yeah, this has got to be more. Like I remember there was a potion of the Old War in Legion was like a huge chunk of your damage if you put it, because it like multiplied with your damage amps in a really nice way if you were playing some specs. But yeah, I've never seen it be this much. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be weird, but it kind of exacerbates the like now if you aren't interested in spending a bunch of gold for potions every day for your character, you're gonna be doing a lot less damage.
I don't know how I can go faster.
Pots, but like those are quite a bit worse.
Well, it's like just rank 1 and 2 now, right?
Yeah, sorry, the rank 1.
I don't remember how exactly it works.
Yeah, they're doing like a pruning of the number of quality tiers for professions, which that's good.
Which kind of sucks for people who are trying to just be frugal.
I think you're still going to be able to...
It's always nice to see some rank 2.
Yeah, I think you're still going to be able to save money if you use the... Like, there is still always a lower rank option. There's just not as many of them.
Oh, is there rank 1, like, just as close?
I don't know. I would be making stuff up if I said anything too confidently.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay. Let's see. Any other WoW things people want to talk about? We've got over the last week, for a little look behind the scenes, we have like some Discord channels where we just put in stuff that is interesting over the course of the week. And
Did we talk about what happened with Echo?
oh, the MDI team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like a small tidbit, but apparently the Echo MDI team is, or I guess they were Holy Method last time. But
Oh, 1 second.
From it used to be Method EU, then Echo, then Holy Method. That team has been pretty stable for the past
Nice.
10 years. Like
I'll take it.
some seasons off.
Take it.
It's been 3 or 4 of the same
Bro,
people.
pretty stable is an understatement.
Yeah.
But those guys are like
Well, they've had like
the most well-known MDI team.
a change
yeah,
here and
but,
there. Right? Like the roster hasn't been the exact
but I
same
mean,
5
the
people
core
the whole
team
time.
though, yeah.
But yeah, it seems like the core team is actually like breaking apart now. So it was on, I think it was on Now's stream that he said that Gingy and Kush were like going and starting their own team, and now there's a lot up in the air still. I don't know what that team's going to be. I don't know any of the other info here, but I don't know. Yeah, what's your take on it, Dorky?
I mean, last MDI was the first time they ever came in not top 2, which is like crazy. I remember thinking like, has this ever happened in any time these guys have played? Probably not since like Legion or some shit, or maybe even like BFA. And actually, no, maybe it was BFA. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of crazy to see, or maybe that's like pretty exciting too. Like maybe that'll mean there will be more teams if that's gonna be 2 teams, and then if the Liquid team plays again and Miscount, those guys are coming in again.
Yeah, I wonder if that would make have them like have some regression, right? Like starting over with the new. I mean, it depends on who they get.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like 3 people. If like 3 people are new, but I'm assuming if they're gonna do it, they would have to.
Yeah, it is pretty sad. I mean, I don't care about as MA as much as like 2 years ago. It's okay.
Yeah, or maybe they're joining one of the.
I'm just glad that those Triple S bosses were pretty intuitive.
Right, it's like
I feel like that's already more than enough for me to
Gingy and Kush, for example, right? And now you're like,
feel good about it, you know.
The team is on the upward trend, and now you're on the they see that, and then they want to jump ship from the team that's on the downward trend to a team that's on the upward trend.
Who could that even be? What if it's me and nobody even knows?
Yeah, what if
Like
it's the
I'm probably like plus 3 or 4 seconds off from score cap, but it felt
Gingy, Kush,
good to play, you know. I think that's a huge thing.
I'm glad to see our.
How do I track Moonfire these days? Just nameplates, yeah. Just nameplates.
Yeah, the Liquid
I mean,
team.
it'd be crazy if they didn't.
They got second. Like they.
It's
came up
problem
with-
when
it's gotta be-
too many nameplates are stacked on each other.
Just second, it was like an
For
extreme
sure.
second.
Right, a strong second, like a second that looked like they were fighting for first, and then it was Holy Method that were in third that looked like they were.
Yeah, I think I
They didn't look that close to
was
second.
3 or 4 seconds on FGO.
Also, and the score
Maybe
was a lot closer than it felt.
maybe 6 or 7 because I forgot to time fracture something at the beginning.
Yeah, this
Like
is
I like that I could just ignore the shield mechanic at the start now, you know.
up to BlizzCon, which is gonna have MDI at it, right? So that's something where
Yeah, also the first MDIs of the expansion are usually pretty big because like the last MDIs, people aren't really aware of what's happening. It's like I'm sure a lot of people who are listening or people who are coming back to the expansion probably have no idea what the hell happened to the big teams last season. But yeah, I mean it was kind of a shocker last season, honestly.
yeah, I know.
I mean, yeah, seeing Echo come in third, but not even that, but just not be on the same tier as like the top 2 teams. That's just something you would never expect to see.
I know whenever we talk about MDI, there's like a portion of the audience that's already gone, or that their eyes have glazed over, or they're using the chapters at the bottom to skip to the next bit. But I do think it's going to be exciting as like when there's a BlizzCon sort of in the future. I think that's going to make it a lot more kind of real feeling these seasons than like War Within MDI.
I don't know why Faraway Slip is my number 1.
Playing together for at least starting now. Ideally,
I should have changed that. It needs to be the other thing.
Don't want to be in a fresh new dorky team 2 weeks before the competition starts.
What do you mean? It's gonna be lit.
Yeah, no, never mind. I'm looking forward to that. That would go crazy. But dude, if you had to like actually physically play it at BlizzCon, would you?
No.
You know, I actually had this conversation before
Well,
with.
let's go.
Let's go. No, like this was back in Shadowlands because this was when we signed with Golden State's Warrior. I used to play with Steph Curry.
Yeah.
While I was on
Golden State. Dude, the best part about that, he said Golden State's Warrior.
Our coworker,
yeah.
Steph Curry, yeah.
Yeah, our coworker.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, so this was back at Shadowlands where we did really well in our first MDI. Me, Pete, Junkrat, Psycho, some other dudes, or not Psycho, but yeah, some other dudes, and so that was when they were planning on going to LAN for the next tournament because this was like right after COVID finished, and we had like a whole discussion of like, oh, would we do it? And there would probably be like pressure from Golden State's Warrior to like have us play on LAN and stuff. And then ultimately I was like, you know what, I'll do it if you guys want to do it. But
So
I
funny.
think Pete eventually was like, nah, I'm not too interested in playing. So
Yeah, I know
now I would probably say no too.
when there was like so Golden Guardians had they'd signed like me and Tettles to be content people, and they were like talking to us about which MDI team to pick up between you guys and Ambition, right? And like the biggest selling point for them for Ambition over you guys was that they would use their cameras and they would actually be willing to show up in person at places, and that was like a deal breaker for you. We ended up convincing them.
We were a better team anyway.
We ended up convincing them to like take you as well, but it was yeah, that was me personally that did that mostly. So I'll take all the credit for that. No, hopefully nobody else in those discussions disputes my claim. But yeah, that it's interesting. It's interesting how much that, because I know there's a bunch of great players that are like they will never go to anywhere. Like Evade is another good example of that, where it's like he will never. At least last time I heard, I think I remember him being in the position of like I'll never, go to a LAN or anything like that, right?
Yeah, there's people who will never come to the event.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of different reasons too. Like people just have their own reasons for that, and it's not usually like I think like one is like people don't want to have people know what they look like or whatever. It's like this is actually really random, but like we had a few people that had not come to events for us for like this whole time, and then they just recently started going, and then you just kind of assume, even though it's probably the wrong thing to do, that it's like, I don't know, that person might look kind of weird or something. Like that's just like why wouldn't they go? And then they just are the most normal looking people of all time every single time, and they're just like private people, or they just like the comfort of their own home, right?
I respect that. I mean, like liking the comfort of one's own home. I very much respect that, especially like if you're gonna hunker down and play WoW for 16 hours a day for a couple weeks. I could definitely understand wanting to do that at home rather than like living out of a hotel or apartments or whatever, somewhere that's unfamiliar.
Yeah.
I would be completely open to that, but like I just have this persona, like I never really planned on streaming, right? Like I never streamed to be like, oh, I want to become a streamer. It just like kind of happened upon me. It's like how like I didn't choose the thug life, but thug life chose me type shit.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah.
That was where my brain went as well.
Anyways, yeah. So like I feel like I'm too deep in it. Like it would just break the whole.
Yeah, it would ruin the bit.
Yeah, exactly.
You've gone this far. How can you do this now?
Dorky face reveal.
When your email inbox, like once you have 100 unread emails, that number is just only going to go up, right? It's like that inbox is just every day. It's a more daunting task to actually go and clear it until you just right click and mark all as read, and then the process starts anew.
Yeah. Speaking of anonymity, have you guys seen the whole Discord situation?
Ooh, yeah. They're trying to implement like a age verification, right?
Yeah, they're trying to harvest our data. We have to like submit a face ID or some shit in order to no longer be a teenager. So like basically, Discord is making us automatic teenagers. I don't know when this is gonna happen, but we're gonna become teenagers soon. And if you don't want to become a teenager anymore, you would have to submit a face ID to prove that you're not one.
What are you talking about?
I'm serious. You think I'm joking, but that's literally what Discord is doing.
Okay.
Yeah, so from what I understand, it's like they want to basically like age lock some of the content on Discord, right? Like I guess certain channels or servers or the ability to do some like voice calls or stuff, video calls, maybe. And so basically they need to verify that you're an adult. And apparently they've been like they've been trying to deal with the backlash for how they're going to be implementing this because it's generated a lot of anger online because people I think are understandably
It's a privacy thing.
yeah, the
right?
privacy thing, and they're Discord gives all these assurances of like we're not going to keep your data, we're not going to sell it, we're not going to do all this stuff to it.
It doesn't help that Discord had a leak not too long ago.
Yeah.
Pretty bad ones too.
And they're going to be teaming up with a third-party vendor to do the actual verification, but then this obviously like now your data is getting sent all over the place, and like multiple parties are going to have access to it, and do you trust all of them to delete it, and all these different concerns that people have. Something I did find pretty funny about this is apparently they have some like monitoring systems where some set of users they already just think are adults. And my guess is like, dude, imagine if you're playing a game like World of Warcraft, right? Like if your Discord account has been flagged as like playing World of Warcraft for the past 8 years, like that is already a boomer game. You would have like they know for sure you're over 18,
You should
right?
automatically pass any verification.
Yeah, exactly. Like if your Discord account in 2016 was ever tagged as playing World of Warcraft, right? That's like there's a 0% chance.
Class Discords.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you're interestingly, you ever gotten a flame war in a class Discord? Even though that's childish behavior, it counts you as an adult. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you ever type 6'7", then you might just get flagged as.
6'7".
That would be there's like increasingly there's all these things Discord's doing as well. That's like.
Did I myriad? Yes, I was 70th. I think
They delete, so.
I tied for 69.
A lot of like. The problem is there's just no credible alternative, right? Like teams.
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
TeamSpeak is
they're too big. I think they're too big to fail, at least in gaming. I know other people have, like, I've had some, like, normie friends that have just said, like, oh, yeah, I'm in, like, a Discord for, we do, like, a game night. And, like, there's a Discord for that. And none of them are, like, online gamers, right? So it's, like, very out in the world. They must think that they're too big to fail to do something like that, which is, like, obviously gonna, it's probably not surprising to them that, it's pretty controversial, so.
Were you guys there for the inception of Discord?
My account is I think 2016.
I was, yeah. So I mean, we were one of the late swappers. Like everyone was like super Discord pilled, and we were still using Skype and Mumble. Skype for like basically the Discord, what would be a Discord chat now, and Mumble for like what you would use Discord voice now. And then like Discord was one of those things where you just tried it one time and you're like, oh yeah, this is like 10 times better than anything we've used before.
Yeah, dude, Skype was so dog shit. I can't believe we used that for so long.
You just literally just give anyone your IP that you ever talk to, by the way.
Yeah.
That's insane.
The Skype DDoS, like, it was very easy to DDoS anybody who was using Skype at all. That was a bad time.
Yep. Yeah, but like I know a lot of gamers were up in arms about this, but like I actually don't know what Discord could do to have people not use Discord for gaming. I think Discord has such a chokehold on the gaming industry in general. Like they could do something completely egregious and there'd be like
what
trend for a few
if I asked my Discord community, like, hey guys, we're moving to Gilded,
would not be able to move on anything.
who uses Gilded? Who uses Gilded?
Monetization or early access problem that games have.
One of my buddies was actually
Yeah, they know they're gonna get mad.
he was one of the startup people at Gilded.
Twitter, and we're leaving for Blue Sky, and I think I don't even think there's anything that's as credible as Blue Sky as an alternative to Discord currently. Although I know there are a lot of companies that are like trying to do that, but yeah, I think it's probably a case of like there would need to be a more than just one sort of blow to Discord's credibility. And there would need to be an alternative that actually was like at least as good, if not better, than Discord. And we're pretty far from both of those things right now. But of course, this
Mhm.
I think
could
as
be
good is enough.
you could be looking back in 5 years and I think point to this as like this is when it started, right? This is when the Discord.
Oh,
collapse
interesting.
started.
I just can't imagine like someone investing enough money to do something as good as Discord has done it, because like it just seems like they would just be so far ahead, and there's a reason they kind of have a monopoly on it. Like, who's gonna be like, all right, we're gonna create a chat and voice service, and it's gonna be better. And it's like, okay, you have the meeting of like, all right, what are we gonna do better? And it's like, what are you gonna innovate in that space? It's
Right.
just, it is what it is. It's talk
Well,
text.
but the real ID situation is already a pretty big.
Yeah, the problem is
to
if you try and
Discord.
make your company on the basis of like we are better about your privacy and stuff like that, that's like such a hard sell because so few people actually care about that, like real on a visceral level. Like they,
Do you guys care about that?
I mean, a little, but not that much, obviously. But like I'm in a unique place where my name is all over the internet, right? Like privacy is never
Yeah,
going to
maybe
be.
I
Oh, but it's not
True,
about us
true.
specifically. It's more about just like them harvesting all our data.
Right? Yeah, it's just like
It's used for many purposes outside of just
if I know a company
Face ID,
is
right?
harvesting my data, and then I know there's another company that's promising not to harvest my data, I don't actually have that much more trust that that company's not going to harvest my data, because historically those companies end up harvesting your
that's
data
fair.
anyways.
Yeah, I'm kind of assuming that any company that has my account information is selling my data for money.
Yeah. That's the problem, right? Is like if you design your company really around the idea of like, yeah, we're really good with our users' data, like one CEO change and all of a sudden that is no longer true, even if it was at the start, and it might not have been at the start anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, we are moving to a future of Face ID. South Korea already has that shit on lock.
What are some immediate benefits you guys see from that in the way that you play games specifically? Like, because
You'd
I know
be
that's
a lot
thing.
less likely to be a piece of shit, I would say, or cheat.
Yeah, I think it's cheating, right? Because like your account is tied straight up to your phone number in a lot of those countries.
Oh yeah,
right?
that's how
So,
League
like,
works in South Korea, right? It's like you need.
Yeah. Like if you get banned, you're fucking done. You know, like
Yeah.
you're just see ya, kid. That's
So you're
why
way less
cheating is not much of a big. Yeah, because like I noticed with Korean MMOs, since I play a lot of them, whenever they come to the West, they have like absolutely no protection at all, and every single time this happens, it's not a surprise that everyone's just cheating their fucking asses off here in the West, and it makes sense why it's not as big of a problem over there. Because if you're cheating your ass off, then well, see you later. Your account's gone forever, and you'd have a really hard time trying to recreate one.
Yeah, think about like the difference between that and like playing something like Apex Legends, which is free, right? So like you cheat in that game and you don't have to like buy the game again to continue cheating. You could just literally make a new account, GG, you're back to cheating right away, versus the complete polar opposite of that is you have your account, game costs money or it doesn't, but it's like now that stain is on you as a person, and that is like verifiable and trackable, or could be, right? Like that's, yeah, I mean the benefits would be people would be a lot less shitty, I think.
It's like getting a VAC ban on Steam, kind of.
Yeah, that is the stain.
On the other side of it is they're trying to protect kids, but I don't know how much I buy that. I feel like there are probably better approaches than doing the whole face scan shit.
Yeah.
What, protect kids from like getting groomed in
Yeah,
online
because that's like a big
communities?
thing on Discord, right? Like you have a lot of say Roblox players that will just herd over to some Discord, and you have like a bunch of fucking pedophiles that will just be like grooming on them. But I mean,
That's so fucked.
something that people have been pushing for recently, that I've been seeing more, is to just ban minors entirely from social media.
There's legislation that like all around the world and the country is progressing to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that personally, because like the me now, I would actually be like 100% on board of that. But back when I was a kid, bro, if you're telling me that I
Yeah.
would be banned from using the internet, or like not really internet, but like just social media or like Discord or anything, that would be like my fucking worst
Yeah,
nightmare.
but like it's only because you're used to it and you know what it's like. Like there are parents. None of us here are parents, by the way. So like take this with a grain of salt. But like there are parents that like don't allow their kids to have iPads until a certain age because it's good. The intent is to like help them, right? But if you're a kid and you see your friends having iPads, you're gonna be like, why can't I do that? Or you're gonna try one time, and be like, holy shit, this would be sweet if I had this all the time. But I actually want to read an anecdote, if I can find it, from a teacher friend that I play hockey with.
准备好迎接胜利了吗？
Hopefully he doesn't mind me sharing this. I'll have to find
Did
it.
you talk about how cooked kids are nowadays?
以胜
Yeah,
为据。
have I shared it with you guys before?
No, I've read
I don't think so.
articles from teachers though about that topic, so I'm curious
The
if
kids
this
can't read at all.
this like lines up.
It's funny because I had this conversation with my stream the other day where I was talking about how like kids can't read and how like it actually doesn't even really matter. I mean, it matters obviously, like it's super important to be able to read, but
天地日行。
it's not a required skill nowadays, and it's like honestly really sad.
Okay, almost have it.
轻而易举。
Yeah, it reminds me of like
I remember.
computer literacy, like actually understanding how computers work. It feels like there was like a 20-year window where that was important, and people that were born in that window learned it, and now we are post that.
It's a forgotten skill.
Yeah.
辉光镜日。
Dude, this was so long ago, but I know the I'm in the right text chain. I'm just having to scroll.
I think you're having mad conversations with this guy.
Yeah. I be texting. You know?
Dude, that's how you know you're old, when you're texting instead of using Discord or like
Do you know
准备好
social
迎接
media
胜
or
利了吗？
outside of America, WhatsApp is the meta
战
in
略
those places,
乘风
like
而上，
big
奋
WhatsApp
战到底，
text and stuff.
不破。
Oh, WhatsApp is like a big thing around,
气势如
yeah,
虹，
just anywhere in the world.
Yeah,
强韧
I。think.
I've never used that
it's
before.
off meta in here, but it's like everywhere else does it instead of text.
辉光
Okay.
镜日。
I found text. Sorry. for the long text.
安全着陆。
I asked him, I was needing to ask you something. I can wait until this day if I need
藏
to,
我的
but
武器。
I was talking to my stream earlier about what social media appears to be doing to our youth because it seems like they're just used to infinite dopamine and probably find it hard to concentrate. The background I don't know how much you're going to cut before this of me trying to find this
天
text,
地日
but
行。
person is a teacher in high school. Then I had someone point out that's exactly what old people used to tell us when we were kids about TV, right? Like people would say, "Oh, this will turn your brain to mush if you keep watching TV." It's
Yeah.
like whatever. So I said, what do you think about being up close to them? Am I just an old person complaining about technology I don't understand, or is it actually bad?
速决。
And he said, normally I say the old people just saying those things are just old and crotchety, but on this subject, the social media feedback loop is so strong that it is akin to drugs. The addiction to look at your phone and disappear for minutes to hours is insane. I worked at a private school for 10 years and they were very anti-technology. The kids' attention span, quality of work, and happiness, which is somewhat subjective, were much stronger.
吃过。
My public school is a fight where 30% of the students are content to fail my class as long as I don't deny them access to their phones, and the level of toxic behavior is insane. A huge portion of my students, this is the part I really brought this up for, a huge portion of my students
比你高。
have their primary account and then a troll account too, where they will try to entice their partners or others to see if they will flirt/cheat.
速决。速决。
Video games are addicting, but you actively engage in the material. The social media is passive, and the material is often harmful. So, like, the thing that really struck me with that is the kids having accounts to basically rage bait people or like basically bully people. That just sounds like insanely fucked. And then I remember hearing a story. You said that you mentioned in other countries doing this. Were one of those like Japan or South Korea?
Do
Do
what?
you know?
Face ID.
There's like the countries that were actually doing legislation to potentially ban social
Ban
media.
social media. It's like
Oh, that I have no idea.
Australia. Actually, there's a big one in
It's so laggy.
that's moving as well, but Australia has done it.
I gotta figure. I might have to restart my stream or something, or just maybe it's just Honkai Third. It's been really glitchy.
来点节奏。
Yeah, Australia became the first to do it in in December, so just now.
切耳朵。
France, the UK, and Norway are next up potentially.
看舞蛇吗？
Yeah.
Okay,
来帮忙吗？
because I remember hearing it was either Japan or South Korea,
我们来出
but
场。
I think a lot of the men in that school were
放
like
旧迎新。
using social media to
来
like
点节奏。
do really fucked up shit to like the women of their age, and like there was like a lot of disrespect and stuff like that. It just sounded,
Oh, it's probably Korea then.
it sounded so dystopian and fucked up. And it seems like it's just doing something to kids' brains. Probably, certainly to all of our brains too, by the way. But they're like still developing and stuff. We're already fucked.
来
But
点节奏。
it just has to be a bad thing. So I could see that being a good thing for sure.
Yeah, it's tough.
Or, I mean, are they going to get around it? Like, hey, we're going to ban WoW unless you're 18. We're not going to invite you to our WoW guild. We only invite 18-year-olds. How many people lied about their age on their application, how many people faked or found a way around that. But even if it reduced it by a significant amount, it would still be really positive potentially, right?
Yeah, personally, I am of the opinion that they should at least ban it in like a soft way, where if anyone mentions, like, so on Twitch, for example, if you say I'm 12 on Twitch, you can actually get permanently banned. Like, not even as a joke, right?
Right.
Because like the age of being on Twitch is 13 and above, and so if you say you're 12,
I remember when I made my first email account.
something like that. Like if
It was like that. I had to lie on the
like Instagram
age.
server and you're like fucking 15 years old, like you should just get straight up banned from Instagram. Or if you're trying to, if you're on like some Discord server that's not for kids specifically, then and you know you're talking about how you're like 15 or some shit, then I feel like you should be banned. But they shouldn't require anything that like hard enforces it, because that's when it gets kind of iffy with the whole real ID and all.
Right, exactly. It's like, is there an admirable goal to try and get kids off social media, or to like mitigate the harms that it does to developing brains? Yes. Is this an actually good like policy solution to that, to make everybody like you, again, privacy concerns for everybody, of like having everybody put their IDs through various systems? Does it actually, like, I remember when I was a kid, I was pretty good at getting around the various age restrictions that existed on different parts of the internet at the time, right? Like, you had to have a certain...
I feel like we were just smarter as kids.
Yeah, okay, we were smarter, right? The current kids, they're all stupid.
Yeah, we were taught to be not trusting on the internet. We were taught to not be complete fucking idiots.
I think even still, though, it's like, if it became a valuable skill again to like get around various age restrictions, I think, you know, kids would do it. They have like infinite free time, right? They have and they have a lot of motivation to, if some of your friends are on Discord and you know you're gonna spend a lot of effort to not be left out and not be the one person that's not, right? So I think depending on how these laws actually are set up, they might not accomplish anything good and might just only do bad things, even if the goal is admirable.
I remember hearing something I wanted to do, like if I was smart enough to stay off social media and not like scroll, listen to a couple YouTube videos from people that were knowledgeable on the subject. I'm assuming I think they were all psychologists, but talking about how you can kind of rewire your brain to not like things that used to not be boring are boring now because you're used to a higher level of constant stimulation. You're like training your brain. You could just basically scroll and get infinite dopamine from that. But like you can basically take a soft reset of like 3 days and feel infinitely better, but it can take up to like 30 days to completely reset to where your brain like now can see something normally engaging instead of just not as interesting as your phone. And I want to do that. I wonder like how much different your life would be if like just random tasks you do are just way less boring because you have unfucked your brain, or like just how I'd love to see a side-by-side comparison of how you feel basically, even though that's not probably how that would work, but if you could, with your brain not being addicted to this shit. I'm not smart enough to do it.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure I'm not addicted to social media. Like, I've been using social media every day. I've been using it every day for 20 years. I think if I was gonna get addicted, it would have happened by now, right?
Yeah,
surely.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, you guys want to talk about all the games that have died? There's so many.
Oh yeah, Highguard.
Dude, Highguard. Yeah, Highguard. But before Highguard, even it was like Ashes of Creation as well died.
That's a totally different story.
I think they're kind of two opposite ends.
All different stories, but similar. Yeah.
Like, because people talk about the Highguard death, there's all this talk about how all the like streamers that hated it and like drew a hate brigade to it caused it to die. But then you look at Ashes of Creation, it's like basically the opposite story, right? Where it's like that one had all this backing and boosting from a lot of those same people that hated Highguard. Viscerally and loudly from the start, and it also died, right? So it's kind of like, I don't know.
Wait, which game are you talking about?
Ashes, yeah, like a lot of the same streamers.
I feel like everyone was shitting on Ashes.
Nah, there's that. But dude, I mean, Asmon was a huge supporter of Ashes for.
Besides him, like I don't know, I felt like everyone knew it was a clear scam.
I think both Ashes and Highguard, now that they've both died, everybody always knew they were both gonna die. But you actually go back to like when there was credible hype around Ashes, there was definitely
I feel like I have a pretty good barometer for this because I have said that Ashes was like looked absolutely terrible at best and was or too ambitious at best and was most likely a scam from the very beginning. And when you said that, when Ashes got its first like bit of press, you were the odd man out by a lot. Like people were just like, bro, like you don't get it. Like what do you did you not see that thing, right? There was like all this hype about it, and then over time it became a more and more acceptable opinion until it just became the clear majority that it was obviously fucked. But like, dude, I would say for the first like 6 months to a year of that game coming out, they sorry, he really wants to go on a walk, which we'll do after this.
Okay.
But yeah, people were super hyped about that game, and I would say there's a strong correlation to people who were hyped about that game for a long period of time to people who said that High Guard was going to be bad for all the reasons they thought it would be. He's right.
All right, I think if I do like 750 every time,
I follow
every week, it'll be okay.
And I have heard so many bad things about Ashes of Accretions since like 10 years, I want to say. So
10 years?
Extremely
Has it been in development hell for that long?
many years now, because a large part of it is
Like, even Star Citizen is playable
the
now.
guy who was in charge of Ashes of Creation, Stephen Sharif or whatever his name was, is like a known MLM scammer. So
Ooh.
they had like a whole history of like how this shit is gonna be a complete scam and how Kickstarter MMOs have never been realized. And I don't know, like the whole situation just it was so obviously gonna fall apart.
Yeah, I feel like there was a set of people that were just they wanted to believe so much that they actually believed for a while until it became kind of obvious.
Oh yeah,
that
no,
was
I
not
mean it
gonna,
makes sense. Yeah,
which again I
'cause
understand.
people
Like
really want an MMO that like fulfills all of their wants.
Josh Strife Hayes did a video about this where it was like he was kind of talking about how there's a huge set of people that haven't
Yeah,
found
I
an
saw that.
MMO home, and the possibility of that in an upcoming game is so much more appealing than like the hard work of actually creating that in an existing game. That it's always so appealing. There's always the Riot MMO, although Riot did this actually. Another dead game was the Riot fighting game. I don't know if you guys saw this, but that one also like had the sort of High Guard thing where it's laid off a bunch of people. And
Has that game even come out?
yeah, it's like it was like season 1 had come out, and then they
Oh,
They,
wow.
like, wait,
I
didn't
actually
know.
don't know anything about that game.
I had
though.
heard all the development for that game, and I never. Because I have some friends in the fighting game community locally, and I just never heard the buzz. It just never got enough buzz. I guess High Guard got the buzz, but for like the wrong reason. Right?
Yeah, but isn't the Riot fighting game actually doing well?
Really interesting example.
Dude, that it blows my mind. I actually don't understand. I have a lot of like. I mean, I went to that event. I didn't like tweet about it or whatever because I just don't tweet. But I like went to that event. I got to meet the developers with a lot of other people. It wasn't one-on-one. I got to hear them talk about the game, got to play it, and then talk to them about it. And like they were super passionate about it. I actually genuinely thought, and after playing it after launch as well, I did play it a bit. Like I thought it wasn't a completely unique idea. There's not another game like High Guard. They're doing something different than any game that's come out. And I think there should always be room for innovation, right? Like that, that you want to try to do that. But like I think it's just so hard as an FPS game. You have to like become, or maybe this was just the expectations they put on themselves. But like you have to become the game that everyone is stopping their normal FPS game they log on after work with their friends to be that game. And even if you're good, if you're not that game, it's just it won't work. And like I think it's so
I mean, I
hard.
would say that because like it is an FPS at the end of the day. Like if you're trying to make a new FPS, that is such a saturated and competitive market. It has to stand out some way or another. And,
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, like the game is just not good enough because at the end of the day, it's super important for the product to cater to the audience rather than just like what they think might be good or not.
It's interesting because they cite like all these playtests going so well and everybody really liking it. I wonder if it's like in a vacuum, if you play this game, you're like, oh yeah, this is a fun game, right?
Yeah, that's
But
exactly.
then
what
when
it
you're
is.
actually trying to like poach an Apex Legends player or an Arc Raiders player or whatever, and you're actually trying to like beat those games at being interesting for those players, it's like such a different task than doing well in your
Yeah.
focus groups, doing well in your events.
So everyone at that thing was a
以上
streamer,
都是
and
丽
most
塔设
people
计的
knew
节
each
目
other,
效
and
果
they were playing in
仅用
groups
于
of
向大家
3
模
with
拟
people that they
女
play
武神
games
执
with
行任务的
normally.
过程。
That is,
天命在
and
实战的
they're
时候
all
还是很
most
正
of
规的，
them besides me were
请
like
大家不要
FPS
放在心
streamers
上。
or pro FPS players that are looking for the next game to like go really hard at. So they're optimistic coming into it because they want this game to be great so they can play it and
今
stream
天的
it or
天命特
whatever,
别教
right?
室有些特
Also,
别。
this game is like
这次
super
的嘉宾讲
strategic,
师是
like
一位货真
insanely
价实的
strategic.
职
The
业主
strategy
播，
that could exist in this game is very, very high level.
他就
That
是
is not something
是
that
的
you can do when you
正
like
是在
play
下
solo
李素商。
with some other
素
people
商
you're
小
tuning
姐，
into. So like
今天
I
来
think
的
one
只有
thing
你
with
一个人吗？
playtesting that game might have been like just
确实，
understanding the solo
抱歉啊，阿
experience
宝，
is just never going to be the
怎么
same.
只有我苏莎娜也会一起来呢？毕竟这是她的直播间，也有阵子没见到她人了。她呀，还在帮德丽莎主教加班呢，听说每天都过得非常充实。那应该是很充实了。她还托我给牙医小姐带话呢，说都要感谢你，在她不在的这段时间里替她打理直播间。这次的课她也帮不上什么忙，所以就推荐我来当嘉宾讲师啦。苏莎娜太谦虚了，她作为主播可比我成功多了，甚至就连不在直播间的这段时间，也能持续创造话题。我也是从苏莎娜最近的状态里想到了这节课要分享给大家的内容。哦，这节课不是野外生存技巧课吗？苏莎娜现在的状态和野外生存有什么关系？当然有关系啦。有这么一件事，是野外生存时面临的重大考验，也是加班时面临的重大考验。我好像猜，那就是好好吃饭了。瞧，阿宝已经支起大锅了，怎么马上就来教大家野炊？的确是很实用的野外生存技巧，但是比起制作工艺，如何获取食材才是野外生存时的难题吧？也不能像加班时那样吃方便面对付过去。那是自然，牙医小姐放心，这方面的技巧我也不会落下，一定毫无保留地交给直播间的诸位，让大伙人人有的吃，人人吃饱饱。你瞧，我和阿宝除了锅、灶、碗。
Well, they had the formula to succeed for sure. Like,
that's not good enough,
entirely on being.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like Lost Ark, right? Like Lost Ark, it had such a massive advantage. It came from Amazon. It was highly anticipated. It had over 1 million concurrent
即使离开地
players,
表
and it just
也不能不
completely
吃
fell
饭，
apart.
所以记得带上直播间的特制便当食谱。
Yeah, I think MMO players are like that. Like MMO players are like, is this the next WoW killer? Is this the next game I'm going to move on from my game to and then play for the rest of my life? That's how MMO players think about games, right?
Yeah.
And
Well, MMOs are a third space. Like, it's not just a video game.
Wow, and there's still 3 weeks left before the patch ends. I might have like 50k going into the next patch.
So if it's not something that's worthwhile sticking around, nobody wants to play it.
I might have to go for double S. I hope I can afford that. Maybe S2. I feel like S2 might be like realistic, but Sparksy is a sparkle type, yes. Spark alter ego. Sparksy is a sparkle type, yeah. But Yai Sakura and Himika are in this season. Alright. Honkai Impact 3rd. Done. Done. Super choppy. Where's my
I mean, think about the time. When has that ever worked? Where you do the shadow drop? Forget the like Game Awards thing that Jeff Keighley threw in and how that impacted all this. Let's just say that never happened and they actually did shadow drop it. With a bunch of streamers playing.
I think Arc Raiders is
Like,
the only like dub in that space.
yeah, I don't know. There's plenty of games.
Well, a lot of them have done it and failed. Like
Apex shadow dropped, and that game.
No,
was
no,
really
Apex
good.
no, Apex shadow dropped. Absolutely, it shadow dropped. No one knew what Apex Legends was until a day where Ninja and Shroud were playing it with 100,000 viewers. That Apex is the example, and also a lot of these people came from Apex Studio. They are not
Yeah,
Respawn,
they were
but like
gonna
a ton of
Titanfall too, right?
yeah, Wildlight I think it is.
How do
But
I
they
get?
came from
How do I get out of the
and
points shop in Steam to the actual regular store?
them too because like Apex did so many things right. Number one, battle royales were popping when Apex came out. Like PUBG had been huge at that point, and then Fortnite had like kind of taken over, and this had kind of been a bridge between those two. It had like, um, not like realistic graphics.
Is Capcom still doing their
shooters? There was less hero shooter fatigue, right?
They're still doing their
Incredible movement.
publisher sale, right?
It was, I think, the first battle royale where you could res your teammates. Like you could res your teammates in Apex, and then like every other battle royale actually like implemented that afterwards. So they were transcendent in multiple ways that like transformed the genre. But importantly, Apex came out. You saw some streamers playing it. Wait, is it? Oh, it's a BR. You immediately know what the game is, and you can log in, and it's free, and you can just log in and play. Right? I feel like this game had multiple of those.
Yeah, Capcom publisher sale ends February 16. Street Fighter for $20. That's huge. There are so many good games. Street Fighter 6, but then I would have to buy the DLC, right? Oh man. Is there one that includes the DLC? Oh yeah, there is.
You can at least explain the game before it comes out to where people are like kind of excited for it that would be into it. But like, would that have changed this? Like, I don't know.
I don't think so.
I do think
I just think it was
they were like uniquely damned by starting at 100K and then going down to 2K. Like,
Nah, there's no way. I don't think that affects it at all.
I like if you imagine
Like,
that
I
they
see what
launched
you're
into
saying. Like the whole
like,
look of it, right?
they didn't do the early access beta thing, right? Like they just like launched. Like if they had done early access beta, invited some streamers and then it was like, hey, we're shaping the game over these next 6 months or whatever, rather than like, hey, we're launching the game. And then all these variables like time to kill, like the amount of loot that's available in the chests that you're, and the amount of time that you're kind of like randomly looting and not fighting people.
All the DLC
going on there, like that. If all of those were things that were clearly like variables that were subject to change a lot, would the game have a more of a fighting chance? I think probably. I mean, certainly couldn't add less of one. So
I mean, yeah, I think so. I mean, think about how they allocated their resources. They launched this and they had like a really.
Oh wow. Crimson Viper is on Character Pass 3.
They had like 4 or 5 heroes down the line that were finished and were just like they were ready, they were prepared for a long release, right? Say you go back.
What if I don't get the character? Can you buy individual characters for Street Fighter? Or do you have to buy them in the pass?
Maybe you start at 2K and people tell their friends and they're like, this game's really fun, and it's like there's at least an expectation that it's still growing and getting better. Maybe that's something you need to do with such a different kind of thing in the FPS space, right? Where now you're developing this stuff in real time and you're less prepared. But
oh yeah, so it's gonna be S0 Divine Key and then May Gear, and then if I have anything left over, I should save it towards the next patch, right? That would make sense, right?
it is tragic.
I think it's as simple as the game just came out 10 years too late. Like if this game came out 10 years ago, then maybe it would have been fine. But like realistically, the game is just not good enough for an extremely saturated market. Like how are you gonna compete with Arc Raiders and Apex Legends, Valorant, and just like all these extremely dominant games?
Yeah.
Because like it reminds me of a lot of the games that I used to enjoy a lot that have died. That is kind of sad, but I mean it makes total sense why they died. Like Battle Right, for example, that game was an absolute banger. I don't know if you guys have played it before.
I saw about it, but I didn't play it.
Heroes of the Storm. That one was like another great game that I really enjoyed. But like obviously they just released it at a terrible time. Like how are they going to compete with League and Dota? And I mean honestly, like Fellowship kind of feels like that right now.
Yeah,
like,
I think Fellowship might.
Fellowship.
I think Fellowship is a game that is directly made for people like us, and I don't know how long that game's gonna last because I don't know how many people there are like us. But it's great while it's here. about that too, about like Arc Raiders specifically. I think about this with Battlefield 6 actually. So Battlefield 6 had a bigger launch and still right now has like more concurrent players than like basically every Battlefield in the past. But if you look online, it like it has a few of those Twitter accounts that are like, look at this. They like post like a 4 a.m. screenshot. Look how low Battlefield 6 has fallen off or whatever, right? Because like there is a little bit of that in the air. But like Arc Raiders came out and that just sucks for that game, even though it is still the most successful Battlefield, I believe, in copies and in concurrent players. But the overall view is negative because it fell off. And that's only because Arc Raiders came out. Really, like it's way better than COD this year. We still play it every day, but like it it is a very very good game that has a negative feeling because it had this number and now it has this number. And even though if you were to look at it historically, that number is still higher than every other Battlefield. It is the best Battlefield in terms of like players are playing this game, yet it's still viewed as negative because another game came out that's. I mean, Arc Raiders is a fantastic game, right? So like it that sometimes you just get unlucky. Another thing you said, like, oh, bad timing. Here's the Storm came out with like League and Dota. Another really
Yeah, so I ended up buying a Mega Man collection for my brother, but I didn't end up buying it. I might just have to wait for the next sale. But what about Monster Hunter Stories? What's that game all about?
turbo unlucky, really. Or I guess there's some skill in like determining, like, okay, we can look at trends, like how long do niche game types last before there is fatigue. Like, is this a good? But like, I mean, that a lot of that I think is unlucky. You know, like
I see Bane been playing Monster Hunter Stories 1.
by the time you decide to start making that game is 4 years in the past from when it's going to come out. And you're just guessing what the meta is going to be in gaming then, or what other good games are going to also be available.
Yeah, I think that part you could call unlucky. I do think it's like
Oh, it's a turn-based RPG.
both unlucky, but also
It's kind of cool. The art style is very neat. I like it. It's very cute.
maybe predicted that like this game that is run by ex devs, right, and like a developer led thing rather than one of the big corporations or whatever, felt more like a big corporation game to a lot of gamers than the big corporation games, right? Like this game, it it coded as super corporatized, like boring EA slop.
That is true too.
Even though it was it's like from the studio of a bunch of devs that left studios to try and make a passion game, right? So like that is something that I think can be learned from for like how do you avoid that if you're a developer making the next game. And same with like the classes, the game looks like generic and
Oh yeah, super
sloppy,
generic.
not sloppy in the sense of like sloppy, but like slop dash y, right, where it's like
The Crew Motorfest.
a lot of the other hero shooters to people's first glance.
Did they make it like a proper single player game now? Cuz wasn't the Crew 1 like servers are offline now?
And again, even though like mechanically there is innovation in this,
I need to Google this.
like a very uninnovative, hash that out to people.
Let's log into Genshin and finish the event.
That led dishonestly by some thought leaders in the space, maybe, but I think that the fact that that had so much like fertile ground in people's minds it's not entirely their fault. Like that's somewhat on the game studio and like on the.
I mean, it's like when I play Fellowship, for example. Like, if I'm streaming Fellowship, literally every other message will be, "Is this a WoW clone? Why does this look just like WoW? This looks like a mobile game." Like that's just the perception that these games have when they
Yeah.
look a certain way.
I guess it's just like preparing to battle, unfair perceptions is something you just have to do if you're a game if you're developing a game. Like you have to do that kind of like bad faith. Like what are people going to say about our game that's going to land, that's going to resonate, that's going to be popular in YouTube Shorts that will define our game, and how do we preemptively play defense against that rather than be caught off guard by it because we all think this game is just going to be the obvious next best game ever, which it seems like that was what the studio thought when they were like a month ago.
Well, it's gonna be especially rough with AI now.
Yeah.
There's a lot more games that look a whole lot more similar.
Yeah, well, again, like and games will get accused of being AI, even if there's not AI being used in them. Yeah. Okay.
I do think that's a large part of it. I mean, like the whole development cycle, like that shit matters a lot, and how fast you're able to develop a game. I mean, on top of developing their shit. Like they're super quick with their development.
Yeah, the speed from like idea to game coming out would help with the whole like, oops, nobody wants another hero shooter anymore. Maybe we should have made a different thing, or released it 2 years ago.
Design decisions too, like in MMOs in particular, because that's large reason why MMOs never succeed, right? Because you're thinking about what's popular at the time. Like say you're developing an MMO in 2024, and it's like, oh, this idea is extremely popular, but by the time the game comes out in like 2028, that shit's gonna be complete dog shit.
Yeah, there's gonna be the backlash to it now.
I mean, just think about it. Like when PUBG comes out in 2016, if you were to do like, okay, I want to make a battle royale, that shit comes out in like 2020, 2021. It has a chance, but like you have that same thought in 2019. Fortnite is popping the fuck off, right? So 4 years from now, of course, battle royales will be popular, and we can do a spin on this. And it's just a little too late. People are kind of over it, and battle royales have progressed enough where it's really hard to actually be an innovative game that comes out with something new, right? Because those games have just been trying to do that for many years, and you lose. And those two, it's kind of hard to make that decision of when you can actually do it. MMOs absolutely is the same thing. People are saying, making up how long it takes to make an MMO, like a true MMO, not like a PvP focused end game thing that I'm sure they can churn out.
Ultimate hardcore sandbox MMO.
Like a full experience.
Yeah, like how hard that is to do, like or how long.
It's so bright. I almost want to switch this to nighttime.
Wants to play an MMO fucking 8 years from now.
I'm of the opinion that everyone will always want to play an MMO. It's just this shit's gonna be impossible, man.
The saddest part as well is like Igard did the whole thing where they prepped a bunch of content to release over a year, right? And it's like that's the thing that all these MMOs fail to do. Igard did it, not obviously in the same genre, but then failed.
And they got killed for it.
Yeah.
Or
it made the failure all worse, right? Like they lost more money because they did that.
Yeah. Tough.
It is tough. It's interesting though, but it is sad. I definitely feel sad for like
Why is it so bright?
They got completely blindsided by it going this way, which is always sad to see.
Turn that bloom down. Holy crap.
The singular reason that the game did
That did nothing.
but I actually hate the anytime a game is coming out and people are like, whether they admit it or not, clearly want the game not to do well. I don't understand that. I think that, and I think it is a harmful thing to the community.
I mean, isn't it just like any product?
Like anybody who was shitting on Ashes of Creation as it was coming out, like, come on, man, give it a fair shot.
Well, but like, it's like everything else. Like if a movie that looks like dog shit, right? Like everyone's gonna be like, oh, this is gonna be dog shit. Or like if there's a
Oh,
new
congrats.
out and their food is dog shit, and people are just gonna be like super negative about it, right? Like, I feel like if the product is just not there, then people are gonna voice their opinion. I mean, personally, I am not the type of person that'll ever put a review on anything. I don't think I've ever reviewed anything in my life, whether it's like a Yelp review, whatever. I don't even fucking update shit on Twitter or Reddit unless it's like my own post. But
you like your own post?
You got to. That's
yeah,
plus one.
I've never
I
done
like my
that.
posts.
If I didn't like it, I wouldn't tweet it.
If I don't like, why the fuck would I post it?
Bro, there's nothing more embarrassing than like someone in like a reply guy in the comment section just saying the most ridiculous thing, and it has 1 like as soon as it's posted, and you're like, absolutely no, that guy just liked his own.
What's wrong with liking your own post?
I don't know. I think it's just a little brutal.
But yeah, I mean, the point is, if people don't like your product, they're just gonna downvote the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I've seen in like.
It's just hard to draw the line for like, where is it that people have like played, or even like sincerely think that something is going to be bad, versus like they're joining a hate train. That
Well, they don't really need an opinion. Like,
yeah.
Have you ever seen Yelp reviews? Like, they complain about the stupidest shit ever, and it's like, this is just what people do.
Yeah, and again, I think managing the launch of your game so that it doesn't generate a hate train. Obviously, you can't 100% that, but like, there are things you can do that prevent that.
I don't know why it was bright. It was high noon. It It was high noon.
I hope at no point in my life am I so insanely passionate about something and also confident about its success just to see it absolutely ripped away from me like that. That just sounds. I feel so bad for them.
Yeah. All right. On that note, it looks like Frank forgot to give us a Patreon question. So, good news for patrons
We
though.
recorded a bonus
Yeah, we
yesterday,
recorded a bonus,
patrons.
so that'll be coming out soon.
Yep.
So
That stuff's coming.
yeah, we're gonna make sure that as we get into the launch cycle here, that's gonna be consistent again. 100% guarantee money back. No money back. Money back.
We've said it.
Parentheses. Fake.
Yeah.
Hope you've enjoyed this episode
What?
of the Body Z. We will be back probably next week, although we got to figure out their schedule. So there's a chance
Yeah,
next week
it's a
might be
little
the last week off before midnight. That's also a possibility, but
Yeah.
we'll figure it out. Anyways, adios.
哼，仙光素现，复护行人。这，哼，呀，多，呀。
We're just out here farming glaze lilies like it's 2020 all over again, man. I love it and hate it at the same time. Oh, it's cold in my room. Cold in the studio, I should say. I'm not even in my room. I'm in the downstairs studio. Woo! That's a really good crit damage ratio. I don't think there's a better sword for this. Okay, this is not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. The pyro damage. I would take Geo damage. Oh. Double attack. Damn. No crit damage. Why is this one so mid? Does she need elemental mastery? None of her stuff scales from EM, right? Lunar increases her EM, but what does she use EM for? Is it just the shield? Increases damage dealt by lunar charge. Ah. Okay, so we still want some EM. Oh, my energy recharge is kind of low. $72 EM is kind of sick. I do wish I had something that had a lot of energy recharge too. Can I reroll this? I think I hold off. I think this is probably fine for now. Even that last one might have been overkill. In Zibai Geo resonate constructs. I'm pretty sure her 3 pillars count as constructs, yeah. Let me see. If we put John Lee. Yeah. Yeah, look, her constructs are resonating. Yeah. We have achieved geo-resonance. Can they do that without Zhongli, though? I think they pulse, but I don't remember. So you'll see here, I'm gonna take out Zhongli for what's her name, because we're still working on friendship. Yeah, she summons 3. Alright. I have to hit a little bit, I think. I forget the conditions. I have to charge attack? Yeah, what are the conditions? Summon a shadow of her former power, switch to lunar shift mode. Normal and charge deal Geo. Accrue phase shift radiance. Consume for the stride. When in the lunar phase shift, the 4th normal attack will deal in a Okay, Moon Sign Benediction, the coursing sun and the moon. When a party member triggers a hydrocrystallization, it will be converted into lunar. Lunar crystallize. I think it's this. Oh, hold on. Talent demo. Lunar crystallize. So, yeah. So, hydrocrystallize. Oh, they shoot turrets. So, her own doesn't resonate. It just shoots rocks. They just shoot rocks. So you still need, I think, Zhongli or I guess Albedo or Geo Traveler.
雾散吧，愚妄无知。苍灵的守护，期待扫敌。星月钟灵，云开雨霁，流吩咐之语。呀，沉印，骄纵轻狂，月双月如故。仙光素现，复护行人。
Apricot, what's up? How's it going?
Charging battery.
We charge complete. What's our battery at? I think there's one more event I need to finish in the New Year mini games. I think it's the combat event actually.
诊疗时间到了。向着星辰，感谢你完成了今。
Charging battery. Charge complete.
Woohoo! I think we mono hydra this.
捉到！彩雨流红，让 让世界热闹起来吧！丝线，呀，嘿，呀，嘿，呀，沧海之约，嘿，呀，哈，哈，嘿，呀，嘿，
断！古华生命，羽线难化。
为我歌颂，闪耀时刻。中场收工，别喊疼。休养生息。哈，哎呀，真难缠。别担心。呀，
收。哎，支持成景，断。
亮相了，欢唱，以我之。点数如何呢？呀，深海的加护。哎呀，哎，休养生息。别担心，哈，别喊疼。
抓到了。彩雨流红，彩。
为我歌颂，让世界热闹起来吧！丝线交织，收。哎，沧海之约，休养生息。哎，呀呀，哎哎呀啊，哎哎，别担心。
古华生命，断。该行动了。
当当，欢唱，以我之。点数如何呢？别喊疼。呀，深海的加护。哎呀，
Wow.
收，不必心急，让世界热闹起来吧！中场收，餐前甜点如雪燕般振翅，天散，归于我。
Oh yeah. Now we're just mowing them down now.
为我歌颂，闪耀时刻。点数如何呢？抓到，收。行雨味迸发，低温。冷冻时间，珍品呈现。欢唱，以我之名。丝线交织，别喊疼。亮相了，让世界热闹起来吧！如雪燕般振翅。中场收工。力量啊！为我歌颂，闪耀时刻，珍品呈现。点数如何呢？归于我。
so much damage. I need a healer. I need healing.
少天三月交辉之刻，子集智愿灵也如初，所见诛心，别说谎。原来如此，真言如影。靠息时间，迷途之子。慢言吧，知识与你分享。我看懂了。靠息时间，柔视观想，只将此月夜献与众生，愿双月如故。全都看见了。少牵手，来我家做客吧。苍灵的守护。别说谎。迷途之子，记住你了。星月钟灵，子集智慧祈祷。为众星之所向，我看懂了。靠息时间，所见诛心，别说谎。这苍灵的守护，等下有点痛哦。圆满，真言如影。靠息时间。哼，嘿，知识与你分享，愿双月如故。迷途之子，三月交辉之刻，慢流，我看懂了。靠息时间，柔视观想，真逆，少牵手。
Not my favorite boss. I don't like that boss. Venti time. Who else do I have that's Hexen Circle? This is a very Hexen Circle team, right? I have no heals.
飞比跑快吧，起风了。
吼吼火花，棒棒炸弹。哦，
云影，夜明，嘿，踏，一如小姐所愿。
别想逃开哦。
火力全开！哼，哈，嘿，嘿呀，哼！哦，
风共鱼行，朔风起义。
起风了，留意脚下。
顶之妖，吼吼火花，嘿咻！咦，嘿，棒！哈，弹起来！
可叹落叶飘零，往返自然。呵，枝叶换线。
别想逃开哦。
火力全开！嘿，嘿，嘿！
云影，夜明，御风而行。
枝叶换线！
起风了，一
风共云行，往返自然。
顶之压，可
别想逃开哦！哟呼！
火力全开！哼嘿，哦哈哈吧嘿，弹起来吧！
朔风解翼，踏！
现身吧！哦，
一起来玩吧！起风了，
可叹落叶。
全都可以炸完！哈嘿嘿，嘿呀！哈嘿。
Actually, not bad. Actually, not bad. We probably could have played it with the same team that we did the first one, but that was actually kind of fun. All right, maximum lunar. Maximum lunar.
防御模式，星月钟灵，纯印，最终血印，祈祷，为证。原来如此，所见诛心，剖析时间。起扫目标，锁定。嘿，咻，哼，盈满。将此月夜，现呀！苍灵的手，别说谎。原来如此，哼，原来如此。绝缘屏障展开，纯印。我看懂了。原来如此。歼灭模式。月双月如故。三月交辉之刻，迷途之子，真言如影。这柔氏观想，真迷聚集，我看懂了。原来如此。嘿，起扫目标，苍灵的守护，别说谎。我看懂了。原来如此。剖析时间。所见诛心。麦娘将此月夜。去吧，绝缘屏障展开。这。
Also, not one of my favorite bosses. There's those like intermission phases that happen just really kill the flow, you know? This should be pretty good.
谁要阻拦？
三月交辉之刻，云开雨霁，流
无赦天火！沸腾吧，山之死！
星月钟灵，纯印。
洞会交彻，律令显焰，拂灭杂尘。恭听太阳的轰鸣，湮灭，动力全开。
将此月夜献与众生，也无需分说。云开雨霁，琉璃映月，拂灭杂尘。
来吧，身后荡响，
三月交辉之刻， 慢流，仙光素现，复护行人。无射天火，要加速了。圆满，将此月夜献扫敌。动会交彻，律令显焰，拂灭杂。
Wow, Zibai is doing so much damage now.
沸腾吧，山之血！恭听太阳的轰鸣。三月交辉之刻，锤印，云开雨霁，流，动力全开，无需分说。拂灭杂尘。
Wow, I think that's it. I think we finished the event. I think that's that. Now we just collect the remaining loot? What else is even left? We cleared the shop. Pretty good. Alright, so there's a new war game event. Maybe that can be tomorrow. Pretty standard stuff. Oh, today we should do the theater, Imaginarium Theater, right? No. Oh, man. Oh, no. Alright, here's what we can do. We can, because we still got Star Rail and Zenless to do, right? Let's quickly get our Star Rail weekly crap done. Get the Zenless stuff done, and then go back to Star Rail for the story. Because today's Sunday, I just want to make sure I get all my weeklies done. Alright, let me go take a quick break, and we'll continue here in a second. Thanks, everybody, for sticking around. We got in Zenless tonight. Let's see here. Oh, let's do Star Rail first. And we gotta do polls tonight for Star Rail as well. Camera on for the first time in a long time. I think this is all about follow-up attacks.